Good afternoon. It's November the something or other, 7th. And a little later in the day than I sometimes walk, I'm out here on Pasqua Street. That's the Louvain over there, and then the airport, Regina International Airport, is right over there. And that's the prairie over there. Sun is setting in that direction. I've kind of walked around here a little bit, but I haven't been over here for a while, so I thought I'd park over here as opposed to walking to here from home and see how much mud I could find, because that's the first thing I'm finding here. Oh, hi Tim. So there's a lot of ball diamonds along Pasqua. This is Pasqua Street over there. Oh, and you can see an airplane coming in, the airport there. Quite a few ball diamonds along here. City owned. Right here on the edge of town. Sort of. Town sticks out up there to the west, and it sticks out to the west down there in Harbor Landing. Right here there's just the airport, so it's kind of, you're looking out over the prairie there. And Pasqua there. It's quite windy today. I'm going to adjust my microphone for a minute, so if you hear clicking, don't worry about it. I'm just moving it up a little closer to my mouth, if I can, without dropping it entirely. All right, well, maybe that's a little better. Probably didn't make any difference at all, actually. So I was busy doing various publishing-related things today, as I often do every day, actually. But this morning I was, among other things, I set up my publishing website, Shadowpaw Press, its website, shadowpawpress.com, I can now offer free shipping in orders in Canada and the US for anything over $30. And I hadn't done that because I was kind of stuck in the wrong mindset. I thought I had to buy books, bring them in to myself, mail them out by hand if people ordered on my website. I mean, one would think, but of course, everything I do is print on demand, and that's literally what that means. You print one book at a time if you want to. And Ingram, who does the printing, look at the airport over there, can ship them out cheaper than I can. So rather than having inventory myself, all I have to do is take the orders and have Ingram print a copy and ship it to whoever bought it. In the States, it's really cheap. And even shipping to Canada, it seems to be cheaper than if I have to pay for it. And if I bring it up here, I have to pay the shipping anyway, so I'm not losing any money. I'm saving myself a lot of effort, and I don't have to have a bunch of inventory, and I can offer free shipping, which, is something that Columbus Park is what this is called, although of course it's backwards on this side. Of course, free shipping is something you get with like Amazon Prime and stuff, so we'll see. I don't sell a lot of books directly through the website, more ebooks than anything else, because you can download any of the books I've published as ebooks. You can download directly from Shadowpaw Press, and I would urge you to do so because I make more money that way. But maybe this will help. I can at least promote it, as I've already started doing free shipping. And then I put out a newsletter today. Let my newsletter subscribers know that Shapers of Worlds Volume 2 is out. See, lots of ball diamonds along here. Again, that's the anthology featuring science fiction and fantasy by authors who were guests during this second year of my podcast. I guess I could walk onto the field, but I don't really see the point. There might, I guess the gates are closed. if they looked open there. Over here is the Lakeview par 3 golf course, which I've often walked through, but I usually walk on that side of the road, so I'll walk on this side today. Get that flicker of the light through the chain link fence. We did get a little bit of rain, and they are calling for snow this week. It's about 10 degrees right now, so it's pretty pleasant, but they do say there's a good chance we'll get not a lot, but enough to at least be noticeable. It won't stick, but we'll probably see it around Remembrance Day, which of course is on Thursday. I can't see anything, so it's really hard for me to even know where I can walk or where I'll run into a fence. Or a ditch. So I'll try to keep my wits about me so I don't tumble into a drainage ditch. Oh, there's some shade. Much better. I can see the screen again, but I've already said hello to Tim. Hi, Tim, again. Oh, snowshoe hare. He's turned white already. He's in a hurry. Okay, I'll have to either go on the road or cross the road because of this ditch. Drainage ditch here. It's got water in it too. I think the last time I was over here it was quite dry. And that's Performance Marine over there that sells boats, as you might guess from the name. Walking on the wrong side of the road, not facing traffic, so that's not great, but I'll get off as soon as I'm over the bridge here. There, Performance Marine. And again, that's the Lakeview Par 3 over there, closed for the season now. We sell fun all year long, they say, not just in the summertime. Now this was Lakeview Gardens, Dutch Growers after that. This is where we always used to come and get our Christmas tree. They haven't gone out of business, they've just relocated, which is kind of a shame. We liked coming here at Christmas time. My daughter particularly liked coming here at Christmas time. Oh, somebody's bought it. I wonder what's going to go in there now. Interesting. But yeah, it was, it's not an old train station, but it was built to look like an old train station. And it was a place where we came quite often at Christmas and also for bedding plants and stuff. Their new location is out on the Trans-Canada, just out of town. And we haven't been out there yet, but I presume we'll make our way out there to get our Christmas tree, assuming we can get one, if there's not a shortage of them like there apparently is in the States. Or supply issues, not necessarily a shortage. Supply chain issues. Right now it looks quite deserted, and so it is, but something apparently has bought it. Somebody has bought it. It's really hard to see anything in that direction. Maybe you're seeing more on the camera than I am with my eyes, with the sun in my eyes. I've walked over there quite often. Again, it's not very often on, if ever, on this side. keep an eye on my time because I want to be home by 5 o'clock at the latest. Tomorrow will be a normal get up and walk along the creek. As we get further and further into November, the sun's coming up later and later. Won't be long before, if I go out at my usual time, it'll be before sunrise. Whew. There we go. This thing about their new location, spring 2021, and they did indeed move sooner than that, actually, I think. I might cross over now because it's increasingly difficult to walk on this side. Oh, that's what they were doing here. They put in a bike path. Look at that. I knew they were working here, but I didn't know this is what they were doing. That's cool. It's the Hindu temple. This is much easier to walk along than when I was making my way through the various parking lots over there. Over there, it's really hard to walk because it's all weeds and stuff. Like they're still working on it a little bit. See? It says pedestrian. So I'm walking where I'm supposed to. Dual use, pedestrians and bicyclists, like most of our paths. Taoist Tai Chi here. Harbor Landing over there. For sale, if you're looking for a business location. I wish I made enough money to have an actual office. I don't know, that would just might be more effective if I wasn't trying to work from home all the time. But I'd have to make more money than I do to make that worthwhile. Thinking about family foot clinic for all your family feet needs. Sun gets lower and lower. Dentist's office. Pharmacy. I was wondering what all the work was here. This is first time I saw it. Yeah, it's nice. I won't walk back this way, that'd be a bit much. This long straight road. I'll go over a street or two and make my way back over there. once I get to wherever I decide to turn around. Yeah, so this is all new, this whole pathway here. It's been a while, I guess, since I've been over here, because I knew they were digging stuff up, but I didn't know this is what they were doing until today. Excuse me. Gospel meeting room. It's the kind of church building I'm familiar with. Overnighting over there again, still. This used to be our gym way back when we both went and did step aerobics together before we were even married. It's changed a few times since then. It's always been a gym, but it's changed names a few times. So how far does this go? Guess we'll find out. If anybody else is there on YouTube or Facebook, say hi. I can't see very well, but I can probably see well enough. That's why I can't see. So it gets lower and lower. More and more in my eyes. Until I turn around, and it'll be better. I should have pretended I knew this was here, because then it'd be like, yeah, I walked down Pasqua Street today to show off the new pathway, but I did not know it was here. And it's too late to pretend now. Oh, there's a dip there. An eye doctor in there. Pasqua Place, a few other things. Another dentist's office. How long have I been out? 17 minutes. Got a ways to go before it's even worth turning around. Gluten-free bakery. Building over here I've been in a few times because I used to have meetings in a boardroom in there. I think it was over in that building. Somewhere along here. Oxygen Yoga and Fitness. And this goes on the other side, but it may not be as complete. Looks to me like that's still under work. That doesn't look paved. Oh, maybe it's just the light. Maybe it is. Find out in a minute. One of the SGI places over here. Oh, yeah. It's just the light made it look like it was just dirt, but it's actually paved. This is a two-way stop, three-way stop actually. And somebody using it as a bicycle path. It's still marked as construction zone, the lower speed limit. It's a nice temperature for walking with just my sweater. Cool enough I'm not getting too hot. Warm enough I'm not getting too cold. Once the sun sinks lower, it'll start to get chillier. But I should be back to the car before sunset at least. Injury claim sitter. Probably what I'll do is not carry on down Pasqua here. Although I could. 20 minutes. So I could still go another few minutes down this way and then turn around. Then I'd have to cross Parliament again. No, I think I'll follow the path now to the left and go along the park. Make a loop before I start back. It should all work out about right. Let's go this way. More of Regina's green spaces up here and over there. Not green at the moment, but these are some over here. They're actually beach volleyball courts. That might be them right in there. And that's the rugby club over there, and then their rugby fields, which I walked around the other side. Actually, I came through right about here somewhere, whenever that was. Just nice to have the sun behind me now, not my eyes so much. Yes, I walked by the rugby club and came through this parking lot on a previous walk. And there's some beach volleyball courts over there that I didn't know existed until that day. Rugby field over there. I've been in that clubhouse for Regina light opera reception, I think, after a show or during rehearsals or something. Or it might have been summer stage, I don't know, some theater group I was doing something with. I remember being in there. I don't remember what the show was, but I remember being in the rugby club. There were a bunch of snowshoe hares in this field last time I walked this way. I don't see any right now. Feeling a bit lonely here. Nobody chatting to me today. So sad. On a Sunday afternoon, you got something better to do than watch some random guy walk around some town you've never been to? Or some town you live in and can walk around yourself? Kids today. My daughter's online all the time. She doesn't watch me walk around. Well, it's a Sunday afternoon and I'm kind of out away from where much is happening. Anyway, this is a fairly busy road, as you've noticed, maybe. Parliament. People heading down to South Albert. Businesses. Oh, actually, that's right where I saw rabbits last time I was here, those dots over there. They weren't that white last time, but they were around those trees, so it's clearly a place they like to hang out. I'm sure they're really small in the camera view, but you can see them there. Clearly a very rabbity place, or a hares-ish place, I guess. Haresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too, wouldn't you? It's actually mares, not hares, but it works. We've got some that are whiter than others, it looks like. The guy with sitting up with his ears up has gone pretty much white. If the words sound queer and funny to your ear, a little bit jumbled and jivey, sing mares eat oats, and does eat oats, and little lambs eat ivy. Mares eat oats, and does eat oats, and little lambs eat ivy. A kiddly-divey too, wouldn't you? A kiddly-divey too, wouldn't you? Thank you. Not a recent top 40 hit, but it was a hit when it first came out. Way before I was born. Ancient though I am. The reason I know it is because we sang it in a show I was in or directed. I was in it twice and directed it twice, called We'll Meet Again, which was commissioned probably for the 75th anniversary of the Legion or something like that. And that was in there as one of the wartime songs that was featured. I did the show twice in Weyburn, and I directed it twice in Regina. And Lyric, for whom I directed it in Regina Lyric Musical Theatre now. Oh, there's there, running around over there. Then did it again with somebody else directing it. So it has been a well done show, or an oft done show. Well, I think there's a path I can take between people's backyards here, looks like. Yes. So we will move into the more residential area now to continue our walk back to the car. Now we're in the shade. The sun's low enough it's behind even the little houses along here. Only showing up between houses. Nice and quiet down here. Except for the occasional barking dog. Don't even hear any leaf blowers going. Big spruce. Give her spruce. Give her snooze spruce. Give her spruce, Bruce. Give her snooze spruce. Don't know where that expression came from. It seems to be a Saskatchewan one, maybe. There's that. I haven't noticed anything. Like, we went shopping yesterday, everything seemed normal in the grocery store. But I've heard things like construction materials and stuff like that. Yeah, I've heard some stories about delays getting materials. We're planning to do some work in April, so hoping it sorts itself out before then. No guarantees. Lots of trees in that front yard. Nice looking spruce on that corner. When they stand by themselves, they can be quite nice and regular and tall. Looks like almost a perfect Christmas tree. Be hard to decorate though. It's a nice neighborhood with the big spreading trees and the spruce. Mature landscaping, as they say. Again, I always like to guess. I would say 60s, probably. Most of these houses were built, maybe some a bit older, some a bit younger. It's a style that feels more like Texas to me, where we came from. There's a interesting video on it's on YouTube that, but you can also get to it from their site, that Government House did, with a focus on Commonwealth Air Training Command bases from the Second World War, which there were 20 of in Saskatchewan. And one of them was in Weyburn, and it was those buildings that were eventually turned into, well, various things, but a large chunk of them became the home of Western Christian College, which moved there from Radville in the late 50s. And then that's what brought us up here, was my dad was hired to teach at what then became Western Christian College in Weyburn. So I grew up in these Second World War Air Force buildings. And when I was there, we got there in '67, there were still some old bits of airplanes around. I remember as a kid playing in the wrecked fuselage of some sort of trainer. No, it was a trainer because it was painted yellow. Still had the control stick in it, I think, like the joystick, so you could get in there and pretend you were flying an airplane. It also had, ragged metal, and was a bit of a place you could certainly hurt yourself, and everywhere we played were places you could have hurt yourself. Occasionally we did, but because it was an industrial area, a park out there, and yet we lived there, so we played around the big wooden spools from Canada Wire and Cable, and we played in these big spools of plastic pipe from Cobra Plastics, and we got into all sorts of interesting places. But anyway, it's an interesting it's about a half hour, I think, video, because they currently have a display at Government House talking about it. So pilots from all over the Commonwealth would come here because we were so far inland, there was no way they had to worry about enemy aircraft. Wide open, clear skies. One of the things they said was that in Britain, on a clear day, you'd be lucky to get maybe 5 miles visibility. And in Saskatchewan, on a clear day, you could see 20 or 25, or who knows. So for training pilots, it was ideal. I'll keep going this way as long as it's going the way I want to go. Until we hit Regina Avenue, then we've gone too far. So the car is actually parked on Pasqua, which is now just a block to my left. I think it's just one block. Oh, I could go, is this a crescent though? Green Street, 24th Avenue. Interesting. If I go this way, will it carry on, or will I have cost myself the direct route? Let's find out. Because that building peeking between the houses there, where there's an alley, I could go back there, but then I just end up back on Pasqua Street. Looks like the back of one of those business buildings, maybe. It's hard to say. It could still be a house, but I thought I was closer to Pasqua than that. Noticeably chillier. No, private property, no trespassing. Okay, guess I won't walk that way. Maybe some condo development of some kind back there that I've never noticed. Yes. Moose Jaw is where all the fighter pilots in Canada train. Canadian Forces Base Moose Jaw. These others were always meant to be temporary. And the buildings were, built well enough, but they were just wooden buildings that were put up. They all look the same, so whenever I'm in another town that has something left of one of these Commonwealth Air Training Command bases, they look so familiar to me. They're the buildings I grew up around, played around, lived in, because we were in a former, I think they were officers' quarters maybe we were in that had been turned into apartments. The former mess hall was completely redone and turned into a classroom building, quite a nice classroom building. The old, we think it was an indoor parade ground, became the rink. It was a little short, and it was, of course, natural ice, but it was indoors, which made it better than an outdoor rink. Boys' dorm was barracks, former barracks, girls' dorm, etc. So I recognize those buildings whenever I see a picture of one of those old Commonwealth Air Training Command bases. They look like home. Not that the ones I grew up in are there anymore. I think they're all gone, pretty much. Some of the old hangars are still there because they're used for factories, but the buildings I grew up in, I think have all gone and are now, there's regular houses out there because it's its own hamlet, North Weyburn, 4 miles outside of town. SOC1XO, that's the postal code. Remember that. Our address was Box 45, North Weyburn, SOC1XO. That's 0C1X0, I guess. So you can't go home again, and you certainly can't in that case. I think the house I lived in, Julia, Texas, might still be there. I looked on Google Maps, and it was there. It was a lot smaller than I remembered it, but it looked like it was there. Well, we can still ease our way over towards Pasqua here without actually going on to Pasqua. I think there's one more path still to the right, taking us back towards the car. Nice refreshing breeze off the prairie. Interesting version of a stop there. He ran that stop sign quite blatantly. Didn't get his license plate though. So. Carry on my wayward son. Heading north here. Not particularly wayward today. I've known where I was every step of the way. That's not always the case. You get into a new neighborhood and they have curving streets and stuff. Even in Regina, you can easily go around like a slow curving crescent or something. And at least I can. Suddenly realize that the sun is not where I think it should be and realize that I've changed direction more than I thought. Carry On My Wayward Son runs in my head. I'm watching the final season of Supernatural finally, 2 years after it ended. Used to watch it with my daughter, and she loved it, but gradually she lost interest. But I wanted to finally finish it, so she says the ending is not good. People weren't happy with it, but we'll see. Still about 10 episodes away from the ending, or 11 or 12 even. So don't tell me how it ends. Anyway, Carry On My Wayward Son is kind of their unofficial theme song. Prairie chickens up here. It's the second time in a couple of walks that I've encountered them right around the corner here. There they are. Prairie chickens. One of those birds that prefers to run away from you. Oh no, don't cross the street. I don't want you to get run over. I think I'm chasing them, and I really am not. Okay, you go over there. Avoid traffic. Pro tip for prairie chickens, avoid traffic. There they are in the sun over there. Well, this will take us back to Pasqua for sure. For sure. Right past that stop sign. So, where have I come out here? Let me see. Okay, there's Dutch growers. I either rejoined the path there. Well, that's about where I crossed over to the path. Here, let's walk behind the Hindu temple. I've never gone back there. This is a retirement living space here. And that's Lakeview R3 over there. So maybe I'll go over there and walk through the golf course, along the edge of the golf course, as I've done before, but not recently. And that's former Dutch growers over there, which is now moved. I'll go across the bridge here so I can walk through the golf course. They're not golfing on it, so I don't have to worry this time about annoying anybody or getting hit by a golf ball. Drainage channel. It's been quite dry a few times I've come through, but I guess there's been enough rain more recently now that there's water in it again. That's downhill. Who knew? This is the golf course over here. I think they have the greens covered now for the winter. Really? That actually looks like beavers, but surely not. Huh. Must be something artificial. There's no beaver dams around here. Yeah, the greens are all covered to protect them from the cold weather to come. Oh, hello. I know, hello. Got a few more minutes to go here. I'm walking mostly along Pasqua Street here, and now I'm in the Lakeview par 3 golf course, which is shut down for the winter. New Mexico. Probably warmer there than here, although it's pretty nice. It's about 8 degrees. Yeah, everything's covered here to protect it from the very cold weather yet to come. Somewhat larger plane coming in. Well, larger than the little one that went in before. It's still a little plane. Heading to the airport, which is just over there. We are supposed to get snow this week. It won't stick, doesn't look like, but it will maybe turn things white for a little bit, so we'll see. I might get to do my first walk in the white. I'll be a white walker a little later this week. Number 18, 120 yards. They're all par 3 holes, so they're all short distances like that. You can walk right down the fairway since nobody's playing golf. Little clubhouse is over there. Should make it back to the car about the time the sun reaches the horizon. A little bit before. It'll still have a little ways to go, I think, when I hit the car. See how long my shadow is getting. Hello. There's the clubhouse over there. There's tennis courts next to it as well. And this tarp will be here until the snow melts in the spring and they get ready to open up again. There I am again. Hello again. The car's about 3 blocks worth of walking still up ahead, maybe 2 or 3. 3 maybe. I'll walk down this side this time because walk down the other side to get here. And rather than walk along the road, I'll walk a little further over here. There's still some trees. So there's the road down to the tennis courts and the clubhouse. somebody else walking over there. This way I avoided them. Haha. Columbus Field over there. I walked through it, heading the other way. So this was a good walk. Not the right length. I'll remember this for future reference. Gone over 50 minutes. I'll be darn close to an hour by the time I get back to the car here. I think there's a plaque on this bench. Let's see what it says. Loving memory of Gladys and Bill Coleman. Fortunately, it's suffered some damage. Time wounds all heals, as they say. Airport over there. You can sort of see the main terminal building. You can see the tower, which is not very tall, but you can see it sticking up there. This is a church. This is the Mennonite Church, Grace Mennonite Church. Looking very nice now as the sun starts to get that orange tint as it gets lower. It lights things up like this. Never been in there. Never been to a Mennonite service that I can remember. Been in a Mennonite town. Rosthern has a Mennonite junior college, and I spent summer there doing a play and stayed in somebody's house who was a teacher in the college there. Almost back to the car. All the houses lighting up with that nice orange evening, almost sunset glow. The golden hour, they call it. Photographers do, when everything gets turned to gold. Brick buildings, and that's an interesting place. Is it a house or some sort of group home? I've never noticed it before. Our car's right over there, so almost done. I'll stop once I'm opposite the car. That's also a nursing home there. And then there's the baseball diamond that we started at, with the airport beyond it and the prairie beyond that. Big yards here. It's a lot of grass. Almost need a riding mower for one of these. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for walking with me. You see the sun's going down and I'm calling it quits. So I'll be back tomorrow to walk along Wascana Creek. Thanks for walking with me. Bye for now.